So let's talk about the different types of polynomial. Polynomials are of a general form where we are summing together powers of x. The most basic one is when we just have some value a times, in this case it would be x to the 0, but we don't normally write that. This is what's called a constant term or a constant polynomial. The order or degree of this polynomial is 0. And the graph of a constant will look something like, those are our axes, it looks something like this. It's a horizontal line going through at the value a. The next one will be something like ax plus b, and we're very used to things like this. These are linear functions. We're used to it as mx plus c, but we'll use ax plus b here. The order or degree of that is 1. What do they look like? Again, we're very used to linear functions. Linear functions look like one of two things. They either look like a graph going up like that, or maybe they look like a graph going down like that. The next one we are also used to is ax squared plus bx plus c, which is our quadratic function. So this is a type of polynomial. The order or degree of this is 2. These have one of two possible shapes, which again we are very used to at this point. We have seen those explicitly at other points in the course, either the concave up or the concave down version. The next one is ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d, which is known as a cubic function. The order or degree is 3. At this point, you might have realized that the order or the degree is the highest power of our polynomial. Cubics can have different shapes. The most common cubic shape is something like this. But they can look differently as well. They can also look something like this, where they kind of come up but never bend back down again. Indeed, they can also go the other way around. If a is negative, they might look more like this. And you can actually get cubics where it's sort of somewhere in between these, where it actually goes completely flat in the middle and then carries on going up. Okay, the next type, which you may have worked out, is going to be when we have a power of 4 here. So that's ax to the power of 4 plus bx cubed plus cx squared plus dx plus e is what's known as a quartic. Has an order or degree of 4. And quartics, sort of the traditional shape of a quartic, is this sort of W-ish shape that does this, something like that. It could also be an M shape if it was if A was negative. And then it would be the other way up. It would be something more like this. But they can also look a little bit like quadratics. They're not quite quadratics. They're a bit steeper and flatter at the bottom. They do something like this. A quartic can look a little bit like that as well. And the final one we're going to look at today is the next power, which is x to the power 5 plus bx to the 4 plus cx cubed plus dx squared plus ex plus f, and this is what's known as a quintic. And a quintic can look like lots of different things. The most generalized version would be like a cubic, but with an extra squiggle. So it comes up and has an extra little squiggle and does something like that. It could also go the other way around. But quintics can also look a little bit like cubics. They can do something like this as well, but they would be a lot steeper than a cubic, a bit like the quartic is a lot steeper than a parabola. And they can even do something like more like a cubic like this, but again, they would be much steeper than a cubic in general.